Thabo Bester will get his turn to appear before a magistrate's court today in connection with his escape from the Mangaung Correctional Centre. His girlfriend, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, her father and two others have already made a brief appearance in the same court on various charges. Central to this case, Bester's daring prison breakaway in May last year after faking his own death.
And of course, he was rearrested a week ago in Tanzania alongside his girlfriend, Nandipha Magudumana, after they skipped the country. Since his return to South Africa, he had been kept at Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Centre in Pretoria. All right, let's get you a sense of what else you need to know now. Bringing Zola Sholwana as a start. She's live to us there from Kgosi Mampuru prison. Also live to us is Mnisi from Bloemfontein. But Zola, let's begin with you. I mean, that prison had been a site of great attention for much of the morning yesterday, given what we knew about where Thabo Bester was headed next after landing at Lanseria Airport. Perhaps as a start, what do we know perhaps is taking place as we build up to this briefing from the Home Affairs Department?
Thank you very much to you, Ayanda, and a very good morning to you and our viewers at home. Just to give you an update, we are here at the Kgosi Mampuru prison in Pretoria. This is where a convicted killer and murderer Thabo Bester is currently being incarcerated. Just to give you a highlight before I let you know about what is going to be happening for the rest of the day. Remember, during the parliament, police confirmed that Thabo Bester does not have any form of identification. The only way they could identify him as a South African is his past crimes and his fingerprints. It was also reported that Dr. Nandipha was found with a passport of a particular doctor that did not belong to her. There's so much that is currently happening. So later on today, Minister Aaron Motsoaledi will be having a briefing with the media and basically telling the media about what they can say as the Office of Home Affairs with regards to what has been said.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interest in also trying to ascertain how Thabo Bester managed to get multiple passports when he was arrested. That obviously links to possible identity theft, Zola.
Yes, that's true. That's correct. I think that is what his office wants to provide clarity about later on today. The briefing is going to be happening from 9 o'clock. We will be heading there from now just to find out what do they have to say as the office. So Ayanda will be back with more updates probably in the next 2 hours about what the minister has to say about this particular matter.
All right, so let's stand by. We've also got Mnisi, who's watching a different leg of the story for us. He's live to us once again from Bloemfontein. That's where we expect Bester to make an appearance, and at least that's according to the Justice Minister there, Mnisi. And of course, there's still a lot of questions around whether or not this will be a physical appearance, but Dr. Nandipha's appearance was also under heavy security guard. Do we know if Bester will be there in person?
You know, there are quite a lot of mixed messages, around this particular appearance. But, you know, from what authorities and sources have been telling us since yesterday is the consideration to bring Thabo Bester to this court. He's considered, obviously, a security risk. So there are a number of considerations that authorities had to deal with. Firstly, will it be worth it bringing him here? His movements, you know, will it be safe to keep moving him around? You'll remember at this point it's unclear if he was processed in Pretoria or will be processed here in Bloemfontein. So those are a number of considerations that the authorities had to grapple with until late yesterday. You know, authorities were still considering whether or not to make this a physical appearance or a virtual appearance. But if Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's appearance is anything to go by, I mean, you know, she was under heavy police guard yesterday from the moment she got to Bloemfontein at the Park Road police station, where she spent 5 hours being processed. Immediately you could see, you know, a number of police officers really making sure that they kept members of the public at bay, you know, where, you know, around his, in fact, convoy, and they made sure that at all times there were strict security measures being put in place, to a point where even at the entrance of the police station There wasn't, anybody, particularly the media, allowed to go into the side where Dr. Nandipha was kept. Similar scenes played out in court. Heavy police guard. You had to make an application to be in court. You had to be identifiable. Members of the media were even given tags, in order for them to be identified. Some did not even get into the courtroom. That's just how tight security was. People were waiting outside to witness and see this convoy that was making its way to the court. You could already tell that the preparation went far beyond the prosecuting authority and went into also the justice system, which deals with court processes. So if he is going to make a physical appearance, then we're really expecting heavy security at this particular court.
Yeah, and Linda, of course, you were in court yesterday and had an opportunity to engage with Nandipha Magudumana. Put us back into that moment, given your close proximity to her, because part of what we've been able to glean from your reporting is just even her apparent state of health, given everything that's taken place so far.
Yeah, Nandipha Magudumana arrived yesterday under heavy police guard. She appeared alongside her accused number 3, Teboho Dipolo. They sat in that dock, but as you can imagine, the interest that was on Dr. Nandipha, given, of course, the allegations that she's facing. I mean, police did indicate earlier, even before her arrest, or even after her arrest rather, that she had been claiming numerous bodies. So the interest in this woman who allegedly aided this escape, who was allegedly part of this big brazen plan, was at the center of yesterday's appearance. And throughout her appearance, she wore a hoodie, maintained, facing down, covered with a surgical mask. And Newzroom Afrika, we managed to get close to her to get a sense of, how she was doing, with all the attention on her, not only from the public, not only from the media, but also security-wise. And I managed to catch a glimpse of her eyes, teary eyes, as she looked down. As you can imagine, already in a defensive posture, but when I spoke to her and I asked her if she was okay, she nodded and said she was okay. And my follow-up question to her was, would you like to say anything to us? It seemed at the moment, if you go back to that video, she was really thinking about it and contemplating whether or not to speak to us, but later decided not to. She lifts her eyes briefly to look at me and then, shakes her head, indicating that she would not like to see anything. When you catch a brief glimpse of her eyes, she resembled someone who was down and sad, but obviously then there are these allegations around her and everything that's said to happen in this plan.
Absolutely. It's interesting to also track the ongoing debate about how the public should be responding to a Nandipha Magudumana, who in some respects is seen as an accessory. Some people see her in some ways as a victim, but it certainly cannot go unnoticed that the allegations against her are incredibly serious. Linda Mnisi left us there from Bloemfontein and Zola Sholwana in Pretoria outside Kgosi Mampuru prison. To both our colleagues, thanks very much indeed.